This is the EUROBIKE XC550 Road Bike, the 21-speed dual-disc brake 700c setup with the bold 3-spoke wheels in a 54-centimeter frame. From my experience, the look is what grabs you first. The frame lines are sharp, the graphics pop, and those mag-style wheels turn heads every time I roll up to a light. Key features that stand out to me are the Shimano 21-speed drivetrain, mechanical disc brakes, and the steel frame that feels sturdy. In my opinion, this bike sells the race bike vibe at a budget price better than most. Assembly wasn't hard, but it wasn't plug and play either. It ships mostly built, but I still needed to mount the front wheel, handlebar, saddle, and pedals, then air up the tires. The included tools get the job done, though I used my own hex keys and a torque wrench to avoid over-tightening. The printed guide felt generic, so I leaned on common sense and a quick brake and derailleur setup routine. The most time-consuming part was aligning the front disc brake to stop rotor rub. If you haven't set up mechanical discs before, just loosen the caliper bolts, squeeze the brake lever to center the caliper, and retighten. I also had to index the gears so each click moved one gear cleanly. Expect some cable stretch after the first few rides. A quarter turn on the barrel adjuster brought everything back in line. Let's talk about weight, because you feel it immediately. I chose the 3-spoke wheel option, and on my scale the bike came in around 44 pounds. That's heavy for a road bike. It's fine on flats and gentle rollers, but hills take more effort and quick accelerations feel muted. Carrying it upstairs is a short workout. On the flip side, that mass plus the steel frame gives it a planted, secure feel on straight, smooth pavement. The frame itself feels tough, and I didn't notice any flex when sprinting out of the saddle. The paint looks great, though I learned to baby it. A small chip can show bare metal, and I don't want rust sneaking in. A little frame tape in high wear spots is a smart move. The drivetrain is basic Shimano, and it matches the price point. Once tuned, it shifts fine if I'm not mashing the pedals. Under heavy load, it can feel clunky and noisy, which is typical for this level of component. The triple up front 42, 34, 24, and the 7-speed freewheel 1428 give a broad range on paper. The 24T ring is a lifesaver on steep grades, especially with the bike's weight. The trade-off is on fast flats or downhills. With a smallest rear cog of 14T, I spin out quickly. That means my legs are moving fast, but I'm not adding speed. If you care about top-end speed, swapping to an 11-28 freewheel is an inexpensive upgrade that makes a noticeable difference. The brakes are mechanical discs, and for this price, they're a big plus. Modulation is decent, wet weather performance is way better than rim brakes, and stopping feels predictable. I spent a few rides bedding in the pads, short, firm stops to mate the pad and rotor surfaces, and that cut most of the squeal. I also rechecked all the caliper and rotor bolts after the first week. They were fine, but I like peace of mind with brakes. Ride quality is what you'd expect from a rigid steel road frame with no suspension. On clean pavement, it's smooth and stable. On rough patches, chip seal or potholes, it can get buzzy through the bars and saddle. The stock bar tape is thin and the saddle is firm. I swapped to a cushier saddle and thicker tape, and I wear padded gloves for longer rides. Those small changes made a big difference. The 700c tires roll efficiently. I set them to a pressure that balances speed and comfort rather than maxing them out, and that helps too. Fit-wise, the 54-centimeter frame works for me at 5.10. The reach feels a touch long out of the box, which is normal for a road bike with drop bars. I set the saddle height for a slight knee bend at the bottom of the pedal stroke and rotated the bars so my wrists are neutral on the hoods. If you're new, that just means you shouldn't feel like you're overreaching or crunching your wrists. A shorter stem is an easy tweak if you need to bring the controls closer. Now about those 3-spoke wheels. They look awesome. They also add noticeable weight, and I felt side gusts more than with traditional spoked wheels. They're fine for casual rides and commuting, and I haven't had to true them, which is nice. If you prioritize performance, the standard spoked option should save some weight and feel livelier. Quality control on my unit was decent. The frame was straight, the rotors were true, and there were no missing parts. I did pull the front wheel off to check the hub and added a touch of grease to be safe. Little things like that help a budget bike last longer. I also did a full bolt check: stem, bars, seat post, calipers, rotors, crank bolts, and derailleur clamps. Everything snugged up fine and stayed that way after a few rides. Where this bike shines is value and style. It looks fast, it has modern features, and it carries a 300-pound max rider rating, which many budget bikes don't clearly state. It's perfect for someone getting into road cycling who wants the look and the basic feel without a big investment. From my experience, it's also a solid option for short to medium commutes, rides on paved paths, and weekend fitness loops. I set up a rear light, a small saddlebag with the included toolkit, and a bottle cage, and it's become my go-to for local errands and cardio rides. Where it falls short is weight and refinement. You're not buying a featherweight racer. You're buying a sturdy, good-looking bike that needs careful setup to perform its best. If you don't enjoy tinkering, I'd budget for a shop tune. A solid initial setup, true brake alignment, cable tension set correctly, and gears indexed transforms the riding experience on this bike more than any single upgrade. In my opinion, the smartest early upgrades are comfort and control. A better saddle and thicker bar tape make every ride nicer. Slightly wider, quality tires improve grip and soften the harshness on rough roads. If you want more top speed or easier spinning on fast sections, that 11 to 28 freewheel swap is worth it. If you want the bike to feel more energetic, a wheel change to traditional spoked rims is the biggest performance jump, though it's also the priciest. I'd recommend this for riders who love the aesthetic, are okay with a heavier frame, and don't mind either learning basic maintenance or paying for a tune. If you dream of long mountain climbs, race-pace group rides, or a super light feel, this won't scratch that itch. If your goal is to start riding more, commute reliably, and enjoy a sleek look at a friendly price, it does the job. Key features that matter most to me after real use are simple. Disc brakes that stay consistent in wet weather, a gear range with a truly low climbing gear, and a frame that feels solid. The trade-offs, weight, basic shifting feel, and harshness on rough roads, are real, but manageable with setup and a couple of comfort upgrades. In conclusion, the EUROBIKE XC550 Road Bike delivers on style and basic functionality at a budget price, with the caveat that setup matters and the weight is significant. From my experience, once you dial it in, it's a dependable daily rider for paved roads and fitness miles. It's not pretending to be a premium rocket ship once you're on the pedals, but it looks the part and gets you moving without draining your wallet. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the EUROBIKE XC550 Road Bike. Thank you for watching.